Hi guys, it's Nat again. So on with the next lot of pages in the envelope journal. So we're going to do this page here that's got the flip out. So we'll get started. It is getting very cold. I think we just had hail here, so get this done before it gets any colder so I can sit on the couch with the heater going. So we did that page yesterday. So now we'll start with, it's also easy, all of this. I'll do the stamping that we've got around on this piece. So I'll just hunt out my stamps. I know they're here somewhere. Just got this basket that I've been ditching everything in. There they are. So I'll just get them on the stamp block. Get my inks. So I hope you're all well and not as cold as I am. So I had work this morning at the bookstore and got a whole heap of good books, which a lot of you who are watching this have probably seen my book haul. Got a lot of breaking down books to do soon. So I'm going to put one up the top there. Then turn it upside down for the bottom one. Just adds a bit of interest in the blank writing spot. It's a lovely stamp, this one. Compliments of Pam. Thank you, Pam. So I might just do it page by page, or else I get myself confused about what I've done. So I've got to find another big picture to put down in this bottom section. So I'll see what I've got here. Have that one will go nicely. So I might just use that one. And we do have some words down the bottom, so I might keep the Finalizing treatment and use that as the words for this one. Now, see on back there's a date as well, so I'll try not to ruin that. This has been a busy day because I had the bookshop, and then when I finished there, come home, have lunch, and then it was do my book haul video. I say I was busy, but I did do a catch up on Neighbours and a catch up on Bold and the Beautiful. Back to the gym tomorrow morning. I think my thigh muscles have almost recovered. So I'll see if I can get through the routine without falling over. Alright, so of course we've got to ink these. Whatever it is off of my blending tool. So I hope you all have good plans for the weekend and can enjoy yourself a bit. I know I've got to keep going on this, plus do my challenges for the group, which I might try and start on tonight after this. catch up on all the washing and clean the kitchen and all of that as well. Been neglecting the housework so much since I found junk journals. Just stick that on there. Now I've got this new glue that I found. It's Helmar's, acid free. It's for paper by the looks. Gonna see how I go with that because I'm running a bit low on my 450, so I'll keep that for the fabrics. I sort of wonder what the difference is, but we'll see what this is like. Whoa. For starters, it's very running. That part was anyway. It just like oozed, dripped in everything. I was not expecting that. Wouldn't want to be that running. Is it? It is too. That's terrible. Maybe it needs a shake. Oh, clean up my mess. Well, I'll tell you what I think of that already. Might as well put it in a pot with a paintbrush, I think. Oh, it's really runny. Oh, I'm not using that. I'll make a big mess. Maybe it's good for collaging. It's the runniest glue I've ever come across. And that is why you never open something new on camera. Oh, I hear my son getting out of bed. I'll stop in a minute so he can come out and have his breakfast at 7 o'clock at night or whatever it is. Okay, I've dismissed my son so we can get on with this. So, well, by that I mean he's just got his food and taken it in his room to eat. I'm going to use the same fabric just to line underneath the words. Just because I'm too lazy to go find any other fabric really, and it all sort of goes together anyway. So just one little bit. Cut that just about the right length, didn't I? That doesn't happen very often. So I just want to fry it nicely. Must cook something for tea after. It's going to be a bit of a late tea, but oh well. Got some minced meat in there. Cook it up while it's fresh. I'll do some mince and carrot and broccoli and have it with some noodles. So I'll probably just could put it down there this time, but it's better on an angle sort of. So I think that watery glue I will use for decoupage would probably be the best bet. So I think looking at it, that's that page pretty well done. So now we might do this, the flip out, before we flip it out. So I've got to put a photo underneath there. Got to do some stamping, but what I've decided is I don't want to do that big postmark stamp because we've got this picture here, which is nice. So I think I'm just going to do another like border stamp up the top instead. So I've got this sort of checkered border stamp that I will use. Just put up here. Yeah, that'll do. Stop wiping my stamps down with the tissue that I've got glue on. Probably not very sensible. Alright, so I've got this gentleman that I'll ink up because he will go under the window, I think. He's a little big, but you wanted a little big sort of anyway. I just have to make sure I get him in the right spot, but he'd look quite nice, I think, under there. So I'm giving him an inking. God, I'm putting a bit much ink on. That's what I do all the time. So now, just grab a pencil. So I'm going to put him where I want him, so I can see him the way I want to see him out the window. I reckon that's great. And what I'm just going to do is just put a dot just under the corners so that when I've got the glue on, I can sort of see around about where I want to place him. Then I've got to find my dots. There's two there. There they are up there, cool. That looks pretty good. It's covering all four of our dots. Beautiful. Now, I did stamping of some text there and I didn't like it, and hence I put the sort of lace of cutting a stamp on there. So we'll do something similar. Fine. I've got my music stamp, so I might use my music stamp since it's handy. Put that on there. So I just want to, got to clean my stamps off, I think. They're not sticking too well. So I'm just going to put that there. Yep, that'll be fine. Which way does this go on? Like that. And now my scrap lace. Scrap that. I've got some similar lace here, or I've got some brown we can use. Oh, sorry, that was a big one. Kind of liking the brown, and I also chose a stamp. So I'll just give this a little ink around the edges. placement. I do kind of like the brown. It's a bit neatly cut though. How long is this bit? I might just whack this on. Try not to be too fussy. There we go. Now, that's about it for that one, although I might find a word or something to put just here. I mean, the other one I had this part here that had the title Carmen on it, and I kind of like that. It breaks it up just a bit, so something a little bit of a different colour there I think would look quite nice. So, I'll just rip this. Just ink that up and stick it there just for something a bit different. Something so comforting about sitting inside with the heater on, crafting away when it's very cold and wet outside. There. So that leaves a bit of writing spot down here. So it can be journaled in. Let's have a look, make sure we haven't missed anything. I didn't put anything down the bottom or anything. Of course you can add to it whatever you like. I might go through and embellish things more, but so I'd leave it quite plain. Now we're going to go to the inside of our flippy. So I'll do this page first. So I did do stenciling on the other one before I put the picture down, but that doesn't matter. It's quite easy to go around there. So I'll just grab my stencils. I think I used the rose one, so I'll just use that again. It's one of my favourites. Just a light bit of stenciling around there. I mainly did it on the other one because the page I used was quite white, so a bit of stenciling would just darken it up a bit. I'm just going to run a tad down here. It's a bit better. Now, just going to get a wet wipe real quick. Down. Put that to dry. Right. It's not too wet. So next thing we need to do is I used some fabric here. I just put fabric down with some stamping on it, just for something different. Now, it had to be a lighter sort of fabric so that we could see the stamping. So I'm just thinking of what I want to use this time to do similar. Because if I use the dark brown, I'd have to use a real dark stamp. I've got my scrap fabric, but I don't know if I've got any scrap fabric bits big enough. Oh, we might have. This piece would be. It's not really vintage, but we could try inking it. I'm trying not to be too fussy and just grabbing bits here. And we've got that one, which is quite thin. Make one of those work. Alright, looks like I'm just going to have to use this and ink it up a bit. And I'm just going to cut it down. Frays a bit. Just wondering whether I want to take the serrated edges off so I can fray it. I'm going to have to cut it down a bit anyway, so I might just take those off and fray it a bit and ink it. Do. Very crooked, but once you've frayed it, doesn't really matter, does it? Use that side. That's going to make it fit in a little better. It's going to be brown instead of grey fabric. Now I want to stamp on it too, so I'm going to use my music stamp again. Now I'll get my... I had it here somewhere too. Because I'm stamping on the fabric, I want to use my archival ink. There it is. Now I'm going to make sure I get the right book. That one. nice impression on that. Just give this a wipe off. Alright, so now we're going to put this just up there. So I just want a light coating of glue. Right, now we have a journaling spot going down there that's just plain tea-dyed paper. So I'll get some of that. And where's my Rippy ruler? I'll just use this for now. So that'll fit quite nicely. So that's that page done. I'll show you that one. So now we've got to do this side. So I put rather a big picture on this side. So we'll find a picture. Should have one in here somewhere. In my big pile, here we go. Got one of these ladies with their parasols. Might put that up there. I'm a bit paranoid that it's not filming. Yep, it's going all right. Good. It's just because I bumped the thing a few times and I had that once where it stopped filming. Now I'm going to use one of the dates as well, so I'm going to tear this one out. Ink those up. I always go, no, it's too white in this bit, so I press a bit harder and then it gets too dark. But it doesn't look too bad though, once it's stuck on with everything else. So check that it's going to fit nicely. Yes. Now, I did do a little bit of stamping, if I can find it. I used this ledger stamp thing a bit. That never wants to stay on. And I just did a partial just around this area. That'll do. It's a bit of a double stamp there with it moving like it did. And then I stuck on my little date just there like that. Didn't put anything underneath it. It looks like I did a little ruffle, one of my little paper ruffles. I did that one with music paper. I didn't end up sewing anymore. I do have some ruffles here, so I'm going to find one and just make it fit. I mean, I can make it longer or shorter there. It doesn't really matter. I think I don't have any more music paper ones, but I have this little one. This one will be interesting on there. I don't quite mind that. It's a bit big, but I could chop it down. I've got this one. So I'd need to ink this one if I used it. And we could chop that one down. I've got a tiny whittle. I think I'll use this one. So it's really handy to have a whole heap of these at different lengths and that, just for different projects, because I think they look pretty cool. Just going to trim it down a bit. And give it a good lot of ink. A lot bigger than the one we used on the other one, but that's all right, doesn't matter. You're not going to be journaling down here anyway. You've got a bit of journaling space there, so. Now, I did use some of that Tim Holtz tissue paper, which hopefully I've put the scraps and that in here. Got everything everywhere. Story of my life. Just having a look in my little barrel thing to see if the Tim Holtz tissue paper's down the bottom. So I'm not sure exactly where it's disappeared to. And I only need the tiniest bit. Might just be over. I probably just pushed it over to the side, did I? Is that a little bit of it? Oh yes, saved. I did for some reason stick a tiny bit of this down here, so I might as well do the same. So I'm trying to follow it along pretty well this time. Just roughing up the edges a bit. So that way I'll be good. So I'm just going to stick that on with my glue stick. Oops, I just add a bit more glue actually. That feels a bit better. And a bit of a bubble underneath it. Just need a bit more over here. So let's just have a look at this one. So I've done that. I did everything there. Got the tissue paper. And we did that side before, so I think that is it for us today. Still got a few I can't believe how long it's taking, actually. I must have done a whole heap, you know, when I made it, like the first time. It was a lot more work than what I thought it was going to be. So tomorrow we'll be concentrating on the page with the red Donnelly flip. This tag, the journaling card that goes in here, another tag here. We'll see how much of that we can get done tomorrow. Should be able to do it all. So that's today's page. So I hope you enjoyed doing that one. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend and I will see you soon. Bye.